Hi guys, happy Saturday. Turning off lights. Okay, let's see if I can get this up so I can see what's happening. And then we will get started. I apologize, I am late. Really, no excuses. Saturday, that's my excuse. Okay. I realize now that my iPad seems to freeze even though I am not actually frozen. So I'm just going to keep going unless someone comments that I am frozen. Okay, so I wanted to pop on today and create something because time is running out to register for the Notes of Nature Stamp Camp. Sorry, I don't know. There is like a shadow. I can't figure it out. My apologies. Ever since I got this glass mat, which I love, don't get me wrong, but now I see a shadow in my video. Oh, there we go. Okay. And it seems crooked, but again, apologies. Let's see if I can get this straight. My apologies. Now I'm probably making you sick to your stomach. Okay, yes, as I was saying, so time to register is running out. This stamp camp is going to be in 2 weeks' time, January 20th and 21st. It's half a day Saturday, half a day Sunday, all in a Facebook group. You get all the make and takes for 10 projects, live videos which are recorded, and then a bonus PDF with 5 additional projects. All you need to do is order from my store the bundle, the cork rounds, adhesive back cork rounds, the Note of Nature bundle, and then you choose this softly stippled DSP as your freebie. So it's easy. $64.75 for the bundle. You add the rounds, which are another like $11 or $12, I think. This is free, and you get 10 projects plus an additional 5 in a PDF. Okay, so we are actually going to case a card that I saw Ange McKay, North Shore Stamper, who is another person in the stamp camp. She made this design yesterday, I think, using the other pattern of DSP that had the Lost Lagoon and the Wild Wheat. So I decided I was going to case her, but make it slightly different by using the Calypso Coral. So this piece of DSP I have already cut. It is 4 by 5 1/4. The opposite side of this is this pretty pebbled path. And I have pre-cut these pieces. So I die cut this with the Radiating Stitches dies, which is one of those online exclusive sets of dies. Love them, love them. So I die cut this with the second largest, the middle size rectangle. Okay. She used the really nice new dies that have the circles. Mine aren't here yet, so I had to improvise. So I used the Radiating Stitches die, and then this is a piece, another piece of the DSP, and then backed it with a piece of gold Wild Wheat. See, I'm so used to, I use it as gold, so DSP. And this I cut at 4 1/8 by 2 3/4. 4 1/8 by 2 3/4. And then that nicely frames our die cut. Okay, so that is going to go on here comme ça. And then what she did was some stamping and some additional die cutting. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so we need our stamp set. So if you aren't familiar with it, 1, 2, 3 greetings, really nice font, combination of script and all caps. This great splatter stamp, which is a must-have, and then these 2 other kind of textured stamps, which are lovely. And then we've got this greenery, this floral kind of astery kind of thing, and then a smaller flower. Okay, and though there are die cuts for those and additional die cuts. So we're going to do similar to what Ange did. So she took this background stamp and played with it. And then she played with the splatters. Okay, so we are going to get out our Calypso Coral and we're just going to stamp tone on tone. So she took this guy and she just stamped it up here in the corner. Like that. So stamping on DSP, definitely not a no-no. And even you could stamp on even more textured DSP than that. You can stamp words on DSP, all sorts of things, right? So then we're just going to come in here and add some of these splatters. Yeah, I have used this splatter a lot already. I've actually used this stamp set quite a lot, and I'm not going to lie, these are the kind of stamp sets that I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit nervous. I never quite know what to do with, but the more I play with this one, the more I love it. So I'm not just saying that. I have made, you know, the 3 designs for Stamp Camp, and then I have made an additional 2 or 3 designs that I have just loved as I have been playing with them. While we are stamping, we are also going to do the greeting. I can't remember which one she did. I think she did the say hello. Doesn't really matter. We will do that one. Just a little note to say hello. And we are going to stamp that in Wild Wheat, on Wild Wheat, and then we'll figure out what die cut we want to use. So I'm going to leave some space so that we can play around with our die cut choices. Okay, bring everything kind of back into frame here. I haven't decided which card base I want to use, so in case you're wondering, like, what is she doing? So we're going to have to decide what color card base we want to use. So we'll figure that bit out. And then we need a die cut shape for this. So the one that comes to mind, of course, is this Stylish Shapes, because we could easily do a banner. We could also do our deckled rectangles. Trying to think, that's going to be too small, and then this one's going to be too narrow. Oh, maybe not. That would work, but then I just wonder if it is too narrow. So let's look at what kind of rectangle we have. And I'm drawing a blank right now, but I don't see them in my case, which makes me think I moved them, which makes me think they're retired. The stitch rectangles. Anyway, let's look at our deckled rectangles. I'm down to like my last copy of the annual catalog because I ended up giving them all away, which is fabulous. But so yeah, there we go. Let's use that. I don't have one down here to look at because it's upstairs. I have to keep taking it upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. I mean, that's a terrible problem to have run out. But I don't want to order more because then I'll have 8 and it's going to retire. It's going to, you know, only till the end of April. Okay, so let's die cut that. So I would love to know if you are watching, A, if you have noticed this bundle, if it interests you at all. B, if you've already ordered things and you've already earned Celebration, what were your picks? What were the things you were most excited about? There's so many great things this year. There's like 11, I feel like 11, I counted yesterday, things you can choose with a $60 order. And then there are like another 3 or 4 with an $120 order, which we haven't had this many things in like many years, and it's great. There's so much variety. There are dies, stamp sets, paper. There are embellishments. This one pack of embellishments you can see I've already used. There's one thing of ribbon. Yeah, so it's super awesome because in the past few years, it's been really heavy on DSP and stamp sets. And then not that many of them, it seemed. So, you know, once you had them all, that was it. And so you'd have customers who were like, well, there's nothing new for me to earn that I really like. Whereas I feel like that is not the case this year. There's so many great things. Like, you know, I don't have everything yet. And often as a demonstrator, you end up with all of the things because you're ordering supplies, etc. But that is not the case for me. Okay. So let's get back in here. We're going to use this guy. So I'm going to cheat him out on my block. And then we are going to use some die cuts. So I'm just going to put these away because they're clean. And sometimes, you may or may not know this, if you leave a foam rubber stamp on your block for too long, it can just get a little tricky to get off. So it never hurts to take them off in a relatively timely fashion. Okay, so let's get a little scrap of white here. I want to try to get something. I try to make the most of all my scraps, right? Don't cut or use a new piece of paper when there's something else you have. And because this paper is so great, even if you've stamped on the other side, you can still stamp again. Okay, so let's try those two bits. We are going to do these little, I don't know what you call these, asters? I feel like that's what they're called, but I'm not too sure. They're floral, nonetheless. Although, you know what? Change of plan. Because I have gone with a different color scheme than Ange, I am going to change this as well. So we are actually going to stamp these in coral, and we'll do our die cuts in Pebble Path, or not Pebble Path, Wild Wheat. Okay, so we're going to stamp a couple of these guys. So that's going to be perfect. Still going to have room to die cut. Just need to have kept a border, right? Okay, and then, okay. So what we're also going to do, because we're going to be crafty, we're going to use the middle of this, because why waste, not waste, I guess is the wrong word, but, you know, be frugal with our cardstock. Especially for me right now. Oh, look, we already have one. Perfect. I needed more pool party. And when I went to place my order the other day, because I was humming and hawing, I waited too long and it went unavailable just for like a couple weeks. I think it's back in stock like the 15th, but I was placing my order. So regardless, I need to be stingy with my pool party at the moment. Okay, so let's move this stuff out of the way. So this is what you can do, right? Because this is going to cover it up. It doesn't matter that that is missing. So I'd like to think most of you know that trick, but if you don't, it is a great one, especially when you are using specialty DSP. So like your foils or anything with gold metallic. Or, for example, if this was a piece of gold foil and I didn't need the middle, like I didn't need these twigs, but it was just going to go behind something, I will often then take my rectangle die or a circle die and I will cut out the center if it's gold foil, silver foil, any kind of like specialty paper that costs a little bit more money. You only get 2 pieces. And I will cut the middle out of it so that I just have that border if I'm using it to frame something, so that I can use that middle piece again for another project when I decide I need it. So I will have all sorts of random circles and rectangles of those foil pieces in my bag. Because waste not, want not. The lovely thing about the glass mat, it's really good for bouncing your dies off of. So if you are wondering about this glass mat, it is something you can add right now if you were to join Stampin' Up. So if you were to purchase the starter kit, which is the most bang for your buck, then this is one of the options right now, is this beautiful glass mat. It also comes with a chamois to clean it and a silicone, what do you want to call it? It's a silicone, I don't know, tray that you can mix inks in. So for anyone who likes to watercolor, it also perfectly holds a Stampin' spot, with little spots that come with paper pumpkin. I know lots of people are using it just like for this situation when they're doing a live or something, they'll put their ink pads in it. Because I haven't actually opened mine, because I haven't done any watercoloring, I don't have it out here yet. I really should, so that I can start using it. But I know the people who are using it, they're loving it. And the rag, for lack of a better word, people are loving that. Okay, so we only need 2 of these, and I already had one cut. Although, you know what, since we're on here, I'm just gonna cut this one out and then I'll have an extra again. Because sometimes you can't go wrong, and maybe we'll decide we need a 3rd one. So let's just cut this out. So what I am using here, this is like non-stick or non-permanent low tack tape. You can get it on Amazon. I'm sure you can get it other places depending on where you live. Comes on a roll. It's like Scotch or 3M or somebody makes it, but it's good for holding your dies in place. Other option is washi tape, of course. Probably even painter's tape, I guess, would work, depending on what you have available to you. Okay. Put our dies away, because a die that we put down is a die that becomes quickly misplaced. All right, so let's bring all of this back around here. Get our adhesive mat. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to glue this down. So if you are familiar with my page, you know that I use a combination of the liquid glue and the seal, depending on what I am doing. I am also mindful again right now that the seal refill is currently, it was unavailable when I placed my last order, so I am just, again, being mindful of that. Okay, so we've got that, and we've got this. Now, because Ange used the other colors, she was able to use the gorgeous celebration ribbon because it's in pool party. So I cannot do that. So what we might do, and I just had it here, is use, here it is, this faux leather gold trim. So now you have to help me decide on what color card base we're going to use. So do we want a gold card? Do we want a white card? So white, I feel like that is not my preference at the moment. Gold, which I think would be my preference at the moment, or coral. So I'm gonna need your vote here, friends. Do you want to see this on a coral card base for a gold card base. I feel like I'm partial to gold, so unless anyone pipes up and says differently, I'm gonna go with that. So I just have to cut a new piece. And as expected, I'm overheating. Cold, hot, cold, hot. I'm 49, in case you're wondering. Okay, so let's score that. Bone folder. I'm so terrible. I have it and I never use it. Yet. So effective. Okay, I'm just trying to decide where I kind of want the ribbon. How we want to do this. So these little die cuts are gorgeous. I really, really think they're so pretty. Like, honestly, I love the stamp set. I hope it doesn't retire. I hope that it carries on to the annual. It is stunning. Okay, so I'm just kind of playing around, trying to decide where I want this other flower. Not sure I like that. And you guys aren't saying anything, which is fine, you don't have to. I almost kind of like it just without any of these little guys. But I feel like we need to offset this a little bit. Okay, so let's see. We could always just do it's hard to actually tie in a little bow. I find sometimes with this stuff, unfortunately, you end up with a little bit of wastage because you need to do bigger than you want in the first place. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is, because I kind of like how that was looking. So I don't know if other people do this, but I do this all the time. So I'm going to put like a strip of seal across here. And then I'm going to just sort of place it down, and it's going to pick these guys up. And then now I can work with that as a single entity. And now here I can wrap this and decide if I want to use it or not. What we are using in Stamp Camp on some of the designs is just linen thread. And not just, because linen thread is beautiful, but okay. I'm just going to cut some of this. If we don't use it, I'll use it on another project. It's not going to be the end of the world. figure it out. I appreciate your guys' patience. I thought by casing somebody else's thing, I'd be like, okay, I'll be done in no time. And then there was reality. So that's not going to work based on where I wanted to put. So again, not sure if you know that trick. If you want to move something, you bend the paper so that you can move it without ripping it. Okay, I feel like we don't want this. So I'm going to take that off. We want this, we want this, we want that. I feel like we do kind of want something over here though. So maybe we'll do that. There you go. So again, lay that down, lay that down. This I kind of like to one side. And then now we're gonna sort of add that. Okay, this whole thing is going to go on with dimensionals, in case again you're wondering what the heck I'm doing. So I'm going to do down here, and then I'm going to do here and there. So there's our dimensionals on this. This is going to just go down on our paper. I'm gonna have to play with this leather cord. I have used it on one design, and what I have done, instead of actually tying a bow, I've done a fake bow. And I can show you what I mean by that. I kind of am tempted to do both of these with dimensionals. So I'm gonna do dimensionals on here as well. So each corner, and then of course we wanna use our edges. Because this, and then I'm gonna put one in the middle. There you go. What time are we at? Okay, we're just almost at the half-hour mark. I like to try to be faster than that, or about that. When we do our cards in the stamp camp, each of us gets 30 minutes. So, plus you get a printed PDF. You get that in advance, and you get all the cutting instructions in advance, so you can have everything ready to just create along with us if you're able to join live. And if not, and you are joining in after the fact, you've got everything you need with the videos. Sorry, that just looks crooked to me. Okay, so what I meant by a fake bow is you just kind of fold your ribbon as if it were a bow, like as if you had tied a bow. And then this is great if you're actually putting it like underneath something, because then it looks like a bow without you actually having to tie it. Or you can just kind of tie it in the middle with like some twine. So see, we could kind of go, you could tuck it under there like that. I don't know if we're gonna keep this, but just an example. So then you see you kind of got this little, you know what, that's actually kind of cute, bit of ribbon. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna have to add a glue dot, but just so that we're not taking forever. Okay, there we go. So I just wanna show you 2 other examples of cards that I have made with these items. I can't show you the Stamp Camp cards, obviously, because that's the whole point of Stamp Camp. It's a surprise. But here is another card. and another card. So many beautiful things you can make with this bundle and the softly stippled DSP. So I will put the link in the comments if you are interested in Stamp Camp. We are encouraging people to register by the end of today, order the products, and then that way we can get the make and takes ready to ensure that everything is mailed to you in time. If you do not live in Canada, you can participate by purchasing just the PDF, and then you get access to the videos as well. So any questions or comments, please leave them below, or you can send me a message. And thanks so much. Have a great Saturday.